For a long time, I genuinely believed that if the work was good enough, the rest would take care of itself. That quality had its own gravity. That clients who were happy would naturally tell other people. That the market would somehow notice and respond. It does not work that way, and I wish someone had told me that earlier. Because here is what actually happens when you build on the assumption that quality speaks for itself. You get really good at delivering and really bad at growing. The delivery gets stronger every year. The reputation stays roughly the same. The referrals come in inconsistently. The sales conversations start from zero every time. And you end up with a business that depends entirely on you finding the next client rather than the next client finding you. That asymmetry between how much you are putting in and how little is coming back on its own is one of the most demoralizing places a builder can be. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the work. The work was real. The results were real. Clients were leaving better off than when they arrived. And yet, none of it was translating into the kind of momentum I expected good work to produce. No steady stream of referrals. No growing reputation. No sense that each project was building towards something larger than itself. Just a series of good outcomes that disappeared into the past the moment each engagement ended. What I eventually understood is that the market does not reward work it cannot see. And most of the work I was doing was invisible to everyone who was not directly involved in it. The results lived inside client relationships, inside email threads, inside finished project folders that nobody outside that relationship would ever open. I was building real value and then filing it somewhere it would never be found. The moment that shifted my thinking was when I started asking myself a simple question at the end of every project. If someone who had never met me or my client needed to understand what just happened here, what would they need to see? And the honest answer, almost every time, was that there was nothing. No record of the problem we started with. No documentation of what changed. No evidence that anything had happened at all, beyond the fact that the client seemed pleased. So I started capturing it. Not in some elaborate formal way. Just 3 things written down before I closed the file. And what surprised me most was not how useful those captures became in sales conversations. It was how they changed the way I thought about my own work. When you document what you did and why it worked, you start to see patterns you could not see before. You start to understand what you are actually good at in a way that goes beyond the feeling of the work going well. You develop a vocabulary for your own value that you did not have when the evidence was all living in your head. That vocabulary is what makes the difference between a builder who can articulate why they are worth what they charge and one who hopes the client just gets it. What was the situation before we started? What did I actually do? What was different afterward? That was the whole thing. It took 10 minutes. Sometimes less. And over time, that habit became the most valuable thing in my business because it transformed invisible work into visible proof. And visible proof is what the market actually responds to. The difference between builders who seem to attract opportunities effortlessly and builders who are constantly starting from scratch in every new conversation is almost never about the quality of the underlying work. It is about how much visible evidence exists of that work producing results. The ones who attract effortlessly have been building that evidence deliberately for a long time. The ones who struggle have been assuming the work speaks for itself. It does not. And the painful part is that the builders who struggle are often doing better work than the ones who seem to attract everything effortlessly. The work is not the variable. The visibility of the work is the variable. I have watched people with genuinely average skills build thriving practices because they were relentless about making their results visible. And I have watched genuinely talented people stay stuck because they kept waiting for the quality to do the marketing for them. Quality is the floor. Visibility is what builds the ceiling higher. You have to give it a voice. I spent years being genuinely good at what I did and completely unknown for it outside the small circle of people I had directly worked with. And the gap between those two things, between being good and being known for being good, is not bridged by doing better work. It is bridged by making the work you are already doing visible to the people who would value it most. That is the whole thing. The work is not the problem. The evidence of the work is what is missing. And once you start treating the evidence as seriously as you treat the delivery itself, everything about how the market perceives you starts to shift. Next, we are going to talk about something that keeps builders stuck at a specific price point, no matter how much better they get. The pricing ceiling you built without knowing it. I will see you tomorrow.